What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, as you saw, our shed got delivered. It actually was yesterday, but then we got a whole bunch of rain, so I actually haven't had a chance to record and show you guys and give you a quick little tour and go over our plans. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the shed, which is back behind me here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. So the shed did arrive. Finally, it's been, I think, 2 months or so since we actually got the perimeter and the foundation built and good to go, but hey, there you have it. There is our shed. So let's go ahead and take a look all the way around. So it's a lean-to style shed, which means that it's sloping from one side to the other. So this side is actually the 6-foot side, and that side is an 8-foot side. So you got your lower side and your upper side, the way it's designed. So we did build out our foundation and perimeter quite some time ago, did a video on that. We have our decking on the bottom there, and then we do have the shed placed on top. You know, I would have loved to have had the shed installed flush with the deck, but when they do delivery, they put these 2x2s in place, and I understand they go ahead and put in like that forklift style unit to go ahead and get it back here. So totally understandable. So here's the back side of the shed. Nothing too crazy, nice little gap for us to get in there and work. And then the top of the shed, I'll kind of hold up, see if you guys can see it, is actually, maybe, might not be tall enough, is shingles, which works out nicely, matches the house. Tried to get the color to match the house the best we could with the white trim in there. On the far left-hand side of the shed will actually be our exhaust away from our neighbor's house. So this is where we're gonna do our 4 shutter fans on this side of the shed. So intake on the far side, exhaust on this side here. And then there's still room, as I showed you before, we can actually get back in here, which is actually going to work out nicely because our electrical is going to come out of the house here. We're going to do 3 conduits, and we're going to do a total of 5 cables, 2 that'll be 10-2, 1 that'll be 10-2, another one that'll be 12-2, and then an Ethernet cable. It's going to come out and then come down. We're going to use some flex conduit and then go into the shed right here on this side. So that'll work out nicely. I'm actually going to work on that today, so I want to get this recorded to at least show you guys what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and go inside. We did get a fiberglass door, and I really pushed the idea of making sure that 1, it's locking, and 2, that it's water sealed. We don't need it to be air sealed. We just need it to be water sealed, as we will be going ahead and making this then into a wind tunnel at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and step inside. I don't need a ramp. This is purely utility. And here's our shed. Not a ton of space, but it'll do exactly the trick we want. We don't need a massive shed for what we're looking to do. So exhaust will be on this side. And I have to take a look, but I think the exhausts are much bigger than this, the gap that they have here. So I'm gonna need to box out my shutter fans and then cut and remove some of the 2x4, but I'll box those out on this side. So I'm gonna do 4, and then of course lower the speeds down, and I'll have the ability to increase it. And then on this side, we're doing 9 gable vents now, is kind of the plan, is what we want to do. Okay, so the gable vents are going to go here. We have 9 of them, so I think it'll actually work out to fit between these because they are 12 inches wide by 16 inches height. So we're going to do 3 across. We'll have to space it out, probably like 1, 2, and 3. I don't know, I'm going to have to figure that out. So we're going to do 3, 3, and 3. So this wall pretty much is all going to be gable vents for intake entirely, which will be nice. So the way that I'm going to design it is, if I guess I can do from this side maybe, is in the middle is going to be racking with all of my rigs in the middle. I don't want anything against this wall and nothing against that wall. So racking with all my rigs in the middle, coming up, and then intake cold side, go through the rigs, and then it's going to get sucked right out to the exhaust side. I don't need, it seems silly to put stuff around the outside or to change the way the design is, so that'll work out nicely. So I did make sure and chatted with them that it did come with the heat barrier here. So the whole top of this has a heat barrier installed, and then the same thing with the back side of the walls is heat barrier. The one thing I still want to do is I want to heat barrier the back of the fiberglass door. Even though they told me that it does have some heat barrier built in with it, I do want to just take the whole back of the door and get a whole sheet and put heat barrier in there to help out with that. They installed these vents. I'll probably cover these entirely because I don't want airflow. If you think of it, if my exhaust is over here, I don't want airflow to get pulled in from the side of my shed on the left and right side, it just seems pointless. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and cover these. I didn't know that they were putting those in. I think I opted not to install those, but they did them anyway, but I'm not gonna throw a fit at this point. The only reason is I want the direction of everything to go this way. Everything. And that's actually why I have the upper side over here, because the heat rises, and that'll make it real easy to go ahead and flow over there on that side. Electrical is gonna come in right down here, most likely somewhere right here. And we're going to have three 30 amp 240 volt in here. We're going to have a, we're going to bring the 12.2 in, and that's going to be for a 20 amp. So we're going to put a 20 amp, a 120 in, and that's going to do like my lights. I want to put some lights in here. I haven't bought anything yet, but I want to put some lights to go the length of the rafters, as well as it'll power the exhaust. Shutter vents, those do 100 watts each, so that's 400 watts by themselves. Any lights I have on, I do want to put a computer in here so I can work on the rigs remotely and not have to worry about it. Ethernet as well is going to come through right over here. And then I'm probably going to run everything up to about here. I'm thinking about putting a piece of plywood here and then putting my meter boxes somewhere over here. And then I want to do a 2x4 from here over to my rack, so that then in my rack has all the Ethernet coming into it, and also all the electrical, so that along the outside there's no electric, no cables, nothing like that, and everything's coming over from the wall, and then the rack would be right in the middle. I might build the rack with 2x4, to be honest with you. It all depends. I might do 2x4s and then build everything out just to get it exactly the way I want. I haven't yet decided, or go ahead and go with something like Chump Change or Red Panda and go with what they do, and they've purchased like the racks from Home Depot, and see if that'll do the trick for me for exactly what I want. But other than that, that's my shed. I'm excited for it. Glad to get this project started. So pretty much after I'm done this video, we're gonna stop recording, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my electrical, because the sooner I get the electrical done and the airflow done, the sooner I can get rigs in here. One thing I forgot about that I wanna do is I do wanna go ahead and paint the floor with some type of moisture barrier to help out with dry rot or anything like that. Just to be safe, I'd rather do that than keep it with the wood. But here's what I'm gonna say to you guys. Would love your comments. What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? What is a recommendation that I'm not doing from your experience, from what you've looked at? You know, what would you guys recommend? I haven't done this before, so I'd love to get your input on this. Well guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And finally, don't forget to subscribe. Take care.